everyone! Today I'll be showing you how I drew Sonic the Hedgehog. Preface: Getting supplies. Today we will be using Canson XL mixed media, which is used for acrylic, watercolor, and pen and pencil. It is 11 by 14 inches. I recommend using 2 pencils just in case one happens to break. You'll need a good eraser and a pencil sharpener, and you will also be needing scratch paper so you can color on it and test out your colors before you put it on your actual drawing. You will also need some markers. I pulled out several different kinds of colors such as shades of blue, light blue, dark blue, and skin tones such as tan, beige, and a cream color, just so we can use this for Sonic's main colors. Lastly, we will be using this type of pen for our line art, which is a Uniball Vision fine tip pen that is waterproof and fade proof. But I will personally be using a different type of pen, but it is very similar to the other pen that I just mentioned. Phase 1. Sketching. We start out by lightly sketching the midline for the middle of the face to get an idea of where the face's direction is going. I rearrange it and continue by adding 2 other lines to chart out where the eyes will be placed. I start by sketching the curved lines of his eyes and work on the expression of his eyebrows. I continue by adding the lower part of his muzzle and nose. His eyes are kind of stretched apart a little bit and have an almond circular shape. I then draw in the eyes to get an idea of where his position of his eyes are going to be looking towards. After much trial and error with the eyes, I continue with making Sonic's facial details such as his ears and the top of his head and his quills. I make sure to clean any rough edges or any details that I didn't like and make things look a bit more expressive. I give Sonic a nice smile, adding small, sharp, little pointy teeth, and I continue by shaping out the figure of his body, adding his chest part, his forearm, where he has his hand on the ground and he's sliding, so we're going to make his hand in that position. I start shaping out Sonic's front leg and back arm and his back leg. I'm not doing anything in extreme detail right now. I'm just trying to make sure I get the main idea of where his legs are going to be positioned or his arm. And I'm going to try and fix some of his quills because I don't think it looks right. I draw Sonic's back arm and his hand, which is rather in a closed fist position, so I slowly start sketching out his fist. I continue to add detail to his front shoe and his back shoe, making sure it looks more proper in the back, because it's kind of hard to give the illusion that it's not just like a little stub or something. So I want to try and make it look as accurate as possible considering the angle it's in. I start doing slight fur-like sketches, like jagged, not super harsh jagged lines, but hash lines to give it the illusion of fur. And I'm doing that all around the body to give it a more detailed look. And I'm going over some of the hand that I want to make more defined in my sketch. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to continue by adding shadowing to where he is standing. So I'm trying to make sure I get some of the details down before I move on to the background and the line art. So, I started sketching a possible idea of the background. I start sketching some rocks and pillars, trying to copy what it has on the photo, but it's kind of a little bit weird looking. So I'm going to use this as a template idea for what I could possibly do later. I continue by adding grass lines to show that Sonic is standing in the grass and that he's sliding. And I add more detail to his fur and his quills, giving it a more realistic look. And once you finish doing that and touching up on things where you want, we are done with this phase. Phase 2. Line art. So for this phase, what you're going to do is you get the Uniball Vision pen that I was talking about, and you trace over your sketch. Make sure you get the lines that you want in your final product. And once you finish tracing all over the details, you're going to eventually erase all of it. I recommend not drawing the background right now with the pen because we're going to do something a little bit different. Phase 3, color and detail. So, we get our colored pencils and use a lime green color and start coloring in all the grass. I'm not going too dark yet, I'm just giving it a light shade for now, so that way we can do different blending techniques with the colored pencils. Once you finish your light green layer, we're going to use a darker type of green. I'm using like a bluish green color, and I'm shadowing under where Sonic is to show there's shadowing. And I'm going around where the shoe is, and I'm going to try and highlight the parts of the grass, make it more defined, and I'm going to color all around it and make it pop even more. Don't worry if you have to go over the grass or any of the details for the grass in the background or the shadowing till you get the right type of shading that you want in your drawing. Now, we get our different colored pencils of blue and we try them out, and we will find the color that matches the most to Sonic, and then we will start coloring Sonic's fur color. Once you have finished coloring in Sonic, you will be using a darker blue and going around the outline of the drawing and the details of his fur to give it an extra amount of definition and make your drawing pop even more. When you finish coloring in Sonic, we're then going to use a red color pencil and start working on his shoes. I try out different colors to try and get the colors of the mouth. I'm using a fox brown and a red. After that, we use our brown and beige and cream colors and we color Sonic's muzzle and try and make it detailed and highlighted. You will also be doing this to the ears and his chest fur. I then pull out some of my green colors and I start coloring in Sonic's eyes. I'm also leaving a little dot or a little space open, that way it looks more highlighted and detailed. And then I'm going to go over Sonic's fur color again with a darker type of blue to try and make it stand out even more. It is a night and day difference to compare. Once I color all the way around, I highlight different parts of his face. I'm going to try out some of the red and make his shoes a little bit more darker to try and make him stand out a little bit more to make it balance. After I finish all the red, I pick out a gray color, a light gray color, and I color in the bottom of Sonic's shoes. Next, we are going to work on more so the bottom part of the background, which I want to make it more like the pattern normally that you see in the game. So we're going to grab our light brown and we lightly sketch out a small flat rectangle. And we box it out and we color that in. And we color that in rather lightly. I then grab my pen from the line art face and start sketching in grass marks. That way it shows it's at the edge of the platform. Make sure you do this across the line. It's okay to mix up the pattern too to make it look unique and give it the illusion of grass. After you do that, you get your green and you're going to go where those hash marks were and you're going to darken them, trying to make it blend in like you did for the top part of the grass. Now, we grab our light brown and we're going to color again on the dirt part area, and we're we're going to go all the way across. Next, we pick up a darker brown or a fox brown. I'm going to start testing it out and form a box and make sure I like the colors. I use the dark brown and then I'm going to use a fox brown and make it stand out a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chart across the whole thing and make it in a checker pattern, and I'm going to color each box in that style. After that, I pull out a brown marker and I test it out. I put it all over the dark brown and try to make it look more defined and stand out more. And do that all the way around. Make sure you take your time and fill it in. I then pull out a blue marker and I start coloring in where Sonic's fur is, and I wanted to make it pop even more. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, this is just my personal preference of what I want to do. And then I get a darker blue and I trace it around the fur. After doing some final touches, we are about done with this section. Phase 4, background. Since the background's kind of empty, we grab our pencils. I'm going to sketch out a platform that has like a connecting road to where Sonic is going. Since it's a little bit empty on the left side, I'm going to add some rock colors and some birds in the distance. And on the right side, I'm going to try and add more detail to the right platform. I'll add some palm trees and more rocks. And then I erase it all over. And then I continue by making the sun. Then I use the same techniques that I was talking about earlier. I color in the island background, and I'm going to color also the rocks with a light gray, and I'm going to darken some of the edges. Then I'm going to do some of the background, and I'm going to add water. So I'm going to use a light blue, and around the edges of the island I'm going to make it a little bit darker to show that there's shadowing. And then for the sky, I want to make sure it matches. So I'm going to use the same blue, but not color it in as dark, and I add clouds by using the color gray. And after using that, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Please check out my channel. Don't forget to show your friends and family. And if they like this video, tell them to subscribe for more. Until then, bye!